Trent Alexander-Arnold. It's been reported that he's agreed to join Real Madrid on a free transfer in the summer. Real Madrid are pregnant with success, and he wants to get up in that success and enjoy it.
He wants to be the gas and air.
He wants to be the
midwife. Yeah.
No matter who he upsets.
Before we get into this, because this will be probably quite a chunky section, do you mind if I just intervene and say, it's not been fully confirmed yet,
right,
by the player or the club or anything like that, but it's been widely reported. But just seeing some of the online coverage and knowing what the history around that club and the player is, I think whatever happens, we can all agree here today now that whatever decision Trent Alexander-Arnold makes for his career and his family, he will never walk alone.
He won't.
Is it fair to say, Jim, that the Liverpool fans are taking a rare shitty week very well? Out of the Champions League, lost a cup competition, and now you've lost your vice captain by all accounts.
Yeah, if we can judge all Liverpool fans on those of them that are on Twitter,
we
for
can.
the purposes of this show, I think we should.
Oh, I always do.
It's a global game,
They
Jim.
have not taken it well.
I've got some highlights here if you want them.
Go for it.
I've got some screenshots, some of the actual, and I've taken a decent amount of time to confirm they are actual Liverpool fans.
Right, yeah, not bots.
I've got 3 or 4 here that you might be interested in. Bearing in mind it's still not been confirmed yet.
Yeah.
And bearing in mind that Trent Alexander-Arnold has been with the club for whatever it is, almost 20 years.
He's won the Premier League, the Champions League, the FA Cup, 2 League Cups, the UEFA Super Cup and the Club World Cup while at Liverpool. Are they arguing that it's difficult to deserve a move there?
Yeah. Surely he's... before I get into this, just help me out if I'm misremembering this, because obviously we're all getting older. Things memories tend to fade over time.
Yeah.
Did there used to be a time where players who had been good servants to clubs would be kind of not kind of applauded on their way out, but would have been, okay, fair enough. You've done amazing service for us. You want to do something for yourself. You want to challenge yourself, whatever. Off you go, kind of thing. I'm thinking like when McManaman went to Real Madrid,
yes,
on a free.
Yeah, I don't remember that being so controversial.
I think that was a step up, though, wasn't it? I think you sort of think, well, good on you. He's playing the best.
Stuff like that. Nicky Butt in Newcastle from United.
I think that was a little bit different, though, wasn't it? Because I think it was a good move for him, and he wasn't in his peak at the time. I think when Michael Owen went to Real Madrid, I don't remember.
But no one likes Michael Owen.
Happy about it.
Michael Owen has got in a remarkable situation where he's genuinely been one of the world's best players at the time, had an amazing career, and none of the fans of the clubs that he's ever played for, any of them like him.
No, it's astonishing, really.
Yeah, so maybe I'm being unfair. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm still going to do it. This is some tweets that I think you like. This is from an LFC transfer room, so a kind of Liverpool... Twitter transfer update.
I mean, this should be their bread and butter, really.
It really should. I mean,
they should have been on
they've
this.
got a duty to report this. Personally, I'd be dropping Trent for the rest of the season.
Oh.
Don't let him be part of the end of the season. Don't let him say his goodbyes. Don't even have him on the bench. Don't let him be part of the title celebrations or parade. And make him watch the team from home.
Oh, he's
not one end with the thumbs up emoji.
Thumb up at the end, yeah. Anfield edition, £150 million player who's been here since 8 years old, leaving for nothing. Rat.
I found one which was someone who pays for Twitter.
Rare Anfield treasure.
Yeah.
So some of them are just lies, which is great. One of them says Trent Alexander-Arnold has admitted to family members that his strong desire to join Real Madrid is partly driven by his wish to find a Latina girlfriend.
He is a horn dog. He's a confirmed
we
horn
should
dog.
put the stand music under this.
We should.
We should probably discuss this.
Can I just do one more?
Yeah, sure.
Because I really want to point out as well that what a lot of Liverpool fans have started to use as a coping mechanism is they've just started to really intensely think about Steven Gerrard.
I've seen that,
Oh, yes, I've seen quite a lot of Steven Gerrard
So,
memes.
for example, someday there will be another Trent Alexander-Arnold, but there will never be another Steven Gerrard. And this one I love particularly is from an account called Living Liverpool. He knew he wouldn't win titles at Liverpool like Trent did. He knew he couldn't be paid in that time in Liverpool like Trent is. He knew he couldn't be managed by Slot, Klopp, and have exciting projects like Trent has. He knew he had to play with Paulson, Konchesky, and have Roy Hodgson and Brendan Rodgers as managers. He knew he wouldn't have a luxury team that can carry him when he's not in the mood to play like Trent has. But he gave his career and his life to this football club, and he's respected and loved for that. And he has the biggest legacy at this club.
Why
And
do
the
they-
photo of Stevie G.
Why do they all talk like Winston fucking Churchill, Liverpool fans?
Yeah.
You know, it's for the ages, like they're writing their memoirs or something.
Yeah.
pisses me right
We've
off.
done a load of good YouTube stuff praising Liverpool recently. It's done really well, and we've fucking torpedoed it.
Yeah, we just destroyed it.
Yeah. Well,
there's also quite a lot of I've seen quite a lot of Liverpool fans. Again, Liverpool fans who are lunatics because they are paying £8 a month or whatever it is to get their stuff boosted on Twitter.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't take them seriously as human beings. Anyone who does that, but they are also posting compilations of like bad Trent Alexander-Arnold defending now.
Bad Trent,
Just
right,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
him
I've seen that.
getting
Yeah,
as a fullback
instantly
as well.
switched to. But the exact same people who would be tweeting till they're red in the face about how anyone who says Trent's not a good 1v1 defender is a liar and doesn't know what they're talking about have now gone completely the other way, and some of them are even posting compilations, as you said, of this poor defending.
Blue tick lunatics. So I know we should probably have this discussion off air, but what does this do to our agenda?
Yeah, we
Now he's at Real Madrid.
We have to update our agenda.
Yeah.
I'm happy to go on record to say this. I've said it before, and I'm happy to say it whenever it comes up.
Conor Bradley's useless.
No, I have an agenda against every single club.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Even Portsmouth.
I mean,
Especially Portsmouth.
I hate every single club.
Yeah.
And I hate Portsmouth a bit more than that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I think that's how that's healthy. That's how
I
it should be.
think that's fair. But I mean, he is the vice captain, and I get the sense that they sort of gave him that position
Try and keep him.
to try and keep hold of him, just simply because
Can I have
he's not that
captaincy?
much.
Well, you're not having that. I mean, Virgil's there. You're not having that.
You'll have to actually work for that. You know what I mean? But I mean, you say that it's quite a recent thing, aka 2 days ago, that everyone's sort of slated as defending himself. He is sort of known as having a certain lack of industry in certain matches.
I wouldn't say industry. What I would say is the best stat that sums him up, if you're going to talk about him seriously, and actually what's really, I think what's quite an interesting idea is Jim mentioned this earlier with Alexander Isak. What's the point of selling him if you can't get a replacement?
Yeah.
Trent Alexander-Arnold is quite a unique player.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I get that it would be difficult to replace him like for like. I mean, David Ornstein has said that he doesn't think Liverpool will replace him as a priority anyway. They think that they've got Bradley, who's a good prospect, who I think is a good player.
Yeah.
Different, but a good player. And Joe Gomez and Jarell Quansah they're both in situ as deputies. But perhaps you wouldn't want to replace him like for like because there's flaws in him. And I think the best stat I've heard is I don't know if it's still the case now, but at one point in this season, he was the defender who had been dribbled past the most times.
Right.
But he had also made the most recoveries of any defender.
Okay.
So like it's almost like it's all action.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I find the whole attitude of when a big player moves on these days is very, very. It's almost like people take it personally. And there was a little.
That's the modern football fan, though, isn't it?
It is, and particularly on Twitter, as Jim's mentioned.
And also, we don't know how old those people are on Twitter as well. Like, some of them are probably 14.
Yeah, I mean, does that? I mean, we've all seen adolescents. There's worse things you can be doing at that age. But the idea is that I obviously start the whole section making a joke at the top of it. But there is a bit of truth in the point I was making, which is that Trent Alexander-Arnold will have his own reasons to go to Real Madrid if that's where he goes. And it'll be reasons of, I presume, of ambition, of career and of family and of living a different lifestyle, of experiencing different things. And I totally understand that it's potentially a more bitter pill to swallow if he goes for free because of PSR and stuff like that. But you know, at the same time, it kind of is his decision to make. There's nothing in football, codified or otherwise, that says because you're a youth team player, academy player that came through, you have to stay at this club for the rest of your career. He doesn't owe them that.
No,
he owes them to do his best and to play as well as he can and to love the club and to win things. And I think he's kind of done all that stuff. So to me, it's he doesn't decide the transfer fee because he chooses not to sign the contract. But yeah, I just think it's a little bit of almost like a needlessly obtuse way of looking at it with no empathy whatsoever.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, there's a real lack of empathy there because he's achieved anything he can now achieve at Liverpool is a repeat of something he's already achieved because he's won everything there. He's been so good for them. It's completely reasonable that he wants to go and experience a different league and a different culture and win different trophies in those countries. He'll have a really, really good chance of adding to the his Champions League collection at Real Madrid, as any player that goes there will. And it's an exciting thing from a football point of view as well, isn't it? All those balls into that front three, that's magnificent. Playing with his mate Jude, all that space for Rafinha in the Classico.
All those Latinas.
All those Latina women.
Those Latinas, yeah.
What do you think, Peter?
I mean, people are sort of comparing him to someone like McAllister in that he apparently re-signed at Brighton so that Brighton could have the money when he moved on, basically. Yeah. Which modern football fans do treat their transfer kit as their own money sometimes. They get very sort of excited and protective about their own money.
I think the problem with that, though, is that with respect to Brighton, it's not a great comparison because McAllister knew that Brighton was a stepping stone club for him.
Yeah.
Liverpool are a far bigger, several measures bigger than Brighton. Real Madrid are probably a bigger club than Liverpool, but Liverpool, have a decent claim to be the biggest club in England for sure. And this is just one of those situations where a player wants to go and do something else. And he's a human being. He has the right to do that. He's given an amazing amount of service to Liverpool. He's played over 300 times for them. And if he had signed it, and by the way, it's also worth pointing out that Real Madrid offered 20 million for Liverpool in January, and they said no.
Yeah.
So that's part of it as well.
So they could have taken that.
And I think Liverpool, I understand why they said no because they want to kind of secure the league title. At that point, they're still in other competitions as well. But sometimes this shit just happens.
Yeah.
You can't avoid that shitty situations all the time. Sometimes, guys, you just got to learn how to dance in the rain.
We also hear all the time from people in football in many, many different contexts that one of the most important things in a player's career is timing. And I know that Madrid offered money in January. But, if he signs another contract and that adds another 20, 30 million on the transfer fee, they might look elsewhere.
Knowing how precarious finances are in football as well, and how quickly things can move around.
With the transfer fees Real Madrid have to spend on everyone they sign, and they've done a lot of kind of business like that recently.
If you're a Liverpool fan, you want to get really angry. You want to consider the idea that because Trent's leaving Liverpool on a free, if he does go, he's going to get a massive fat signing on fee.
He will
go to him personally rather than go to Liverpool.
Exactly. I like that.
Rat.
Little rat. Well, it's going to be a big transfer window in the summer because obviously Virgil van Dijk, Mo Salah still yet to make a decision on their future. Does this tip their decisions one way or another? I would suggest probably not.
I don't know. If they lose all three, I mean, it looks like I was saying this in the context of Arsenal, wasn't I, Jim, a few weeks ago to you, saying that Arsenal seem pretty stable compared to the other clubs around them.
Strongest tale geniuses.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
I agree.
I think Arsenal, if Arsenal play their cards right, they could finish second to someone completely different.
You might be right. Yeah, you might be right.
Trent will be joining Kylian Mbappe at Real Madrid. Did you see the best bit of telly football this week, where when played for France this week, Mbappe had to pick up and carry the car that delivered the ball onto the pitch because it broke down.
That. Yeah,
he looked like a Power Ranger.
He looked massive,
kicking over
didn't he?
building.
Yeah, it was great.
It's good stuff.
In your esteemed estimation, Peter, how would that kind of thing go wrong? It's just a remote control car, right?
Yeah, you'd think maybe an RF signal went missing. Maybe somebody,
an RF signal.
Maybe maybe Jules Breach turned on her microphone at the wrong time.
Knowing how small Jules Breach is,
she could drive it.
She's probably fucking driving it with Pablo the dog in the back.
Oh, adorable. Yeah. Elsewhere in the Premier League, Bournemouth defender Dean Huijsen has had to explain.
That's an interesting way of saying that.
I looked at an interview to see how exactly you say it. I think it's Huijsen.
Huijsen.
It may have been inaccurate on the part of the interviewer, but who knows? Elsewhere in the Premier League, Bournemouth defender Dean Huijsen has had to explain why he looks just basically stoned all the time.
It's brilliant.
It's so rude.
It's brilliant.
So fucking rude. He was asked in an interview. He said, "This is a random question, and it's probably an expected answer, but it really seems to me like you're pretty medicated on weed. Do you smoke weed?" And he responded with, "I have sleepy eyes. My mother had sleepy eyes. I'm not high. We're not allowed weed. It's doping control. We're not allowed it."
Yeah.
I mean, he's born in Amsterdam, so there's probably a little bit of xenophobia there as well.
And he also represents Spain internationally now.
It's mad. He speaks about 4 languages and he's like 19.
Very impressive, man. I have to say, what fair play to the interviewer for managing to get a question like that out to a footballer. It's so difficult to get to talk about anything like that.
I was thinking that. So I actually remember the platform that it was on, but obviously on this show we would never criticise another content creator. But I would like to defend him because he did get a lot of stick for asking.
He did, yeah.
And then he said in the replies, actually, do you know what? This is an interview with a Premier League player. All the questions were vetted beforehand, and Dean himself thought it was really funny. He really wanted.
And
to
you can see that in his response as well.
Yeah.
And I kind of find it interesting because I've done stuff, and we probably all have, where you go to a club or you go to a training ground and interview a player. In my experience, they're kind of okay with you asking the questions, but they want to vet the shit at the end of it.
Right.
And so I'm surprised the club was like, oh yeah, you can do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll tell you what, without reading too much into it, I hope it's a sign, a kind of canary in the mine that says football clubs are now going to start doing shit that's actually interesting because I am fucking tired of every single time I turn Sky Sports News on, it's just someone, I'm not criticising the interviewer, but someone interviewing a player at the training ground, and every single interview is the same. It's basically variations on...
Who've got the worst clothes?
Yeah, who's best at table tennis? Which one of you loves the banter?
Well, it clearly ruffled a few feathers, this interview, because the papers went big on Chelsea being willing to beat his release clause after this sort of story came out. So it was as if Chelsea were waiting for clarification that he wasn't bonked out of his mind. Oh, we'll meet it then. We'll meet it. But they
signed a couple of players last week.
Exactly. Yeah.
There was either a non-league player or a player in the League of Ireland. The best drug story of the week wasn't this one. There was a player in Ireland. I can't remember who it was. I think it's League of Ireland. Yeah, he got busted for cocaine. He got sent down. Right. And someone put his mugshot on there.
You never get this with a regular teacher, do you? It's great.
Yeah. But the best tweet, Jim, was someone who said, I can't believe it. I used to go and see this guy every Saturday. I didn't know he was a footballer as well.
Wonderful. Well, can we go after this? Millwall have started selling 5G. We're back with the Football Ramble. Luke, you're a big fan of these two chaps. Sepp Blatter and Michel Platini have been acquitted for a second time on charges of fraud, forgery, mismanagement and misappropriation of £1.7 million worth of FIFA money, which I presume is like normal money, FIFA money in 2011.
Oh, they treat it like monopoly money, but I think it is currency, legal tender,
It's one of the stories where I worked on like a little documentary last year about cycling and I had a lot of meetings with the league. We have legal representation.
It's called Ghost in the Machine. And it was an excellent piece of work about mechanical doping and professional cycling. Pete, don't do yourself a disservice. It was fantastic.
And most of the conversation I had with the lawyers were that libel law only works when you've got a reputation to taint, so to speak.
Yeah, okay.
So when I read this story, I'm very comfortable.
I think you could argue with this, yeah. And also, Blatter's 89 now.
Yeah.
So...
TikTok.
Mind you, the evil ones live the longest, don't they? Avalanche lived to 100.
Indeed. 101, wasn't it? Wasn't it more
101.
than that?
Sorry, I've done him a dirty there.
Yeah. Was he the one who used to go around in a scooter?
No, that's Chuck Blazer.
Chuck Blazer,
the American one. He had two apartments in Manhattan, didn't he?
One for his cats.
Yeah,
that was in the Trump Tower as well.
What a surprise!
Do you know what I was thinking about this story? Is that these guys, whatever you think of them, right? They have properly they are the end of level boss, apex predator, apotheosis of admin.
Right.
It's all admin, isn't it?
What do you
Everything they do is admin. So it's meetings, it's committees, it's court cases, it's events. They've dedicated their lives to admin.
Where's the disco?
Yeah.
Guys?
But
what do you do on your days off? Admin.
As I was thinking that, I read at the bottom of the story that they said the Swiss Supreme Court has the grounds to lodge a further appeal. And I was thinking, let's go round again. One more go. Sepp could have another go on the admin roundabout, surely.
We reported on this a lot of the time, if you want to use a term as grand as reported. We took the piss out of this a lot of the time as it was all happening in 2011.
Yeah.
And they keep being proven innocent of it.
Yeah.
They have genuinely been quite badly treated here, it would seem.
So do you know the detail on it? The detail is that...
it was like a gentleman's agreement, wasn't it? A payment with no paperwork.
Platini billed...
Backdated.
Platini billed Blatter's FIFA for €1.7 million, maybe? Pounds, can't remember which. For consultancy work.
Yeah, backdated consultancy work.
Yeah.
But there was no paper trail.
Yeah.
Did we even have an invoice?
I'm not having that from you. Listen,
I was doing my expenses from 2022 last night.
Do you want to know the fucking... allow me to move us on in this way.
Okay.
Right. You do not need to hear from Pete about admin because I'll tell you something now.
Say something.
I signed you up for Millwall Mobile yesterday and you've not even fucking noticed.
No, did you? What do you mean? What? Did I get an email saying that...
Did you get an email?
I don't know.
Why would Luke know that more than you?
I signed you up. I filled the whole form in. I took the time to find your address and everything.
Okay.
And I signed you up for Millwall Mobile. And you didn't even confirm. You didn't even have the dexterity to confirm the email.
I've not even sort of seen the... Hang on.
So your work email.
Millwall. So Millwall... Activate your account, Millwall FC. I will.
There we go.
I will.
Because Millwall are now doing 5G mobile.
They're doing 5G mobile. 5G standing presumably for 5 gashes to the face and on some waste ground. Millwall Football Club is delighted to become the first British club to launch its own mobile network in partnership with Shaka Hislop. Millwall Mobile will be powered by the UK's fastest 5G network, 3, with 99.9% UK coverage. We've done the advertising there for 3 Mobile, but I mean, just get 3, surely. Can you not just get 3? Do you have to go to Millwall?
I'm disappointed in Millwall because if they had anything about them whatsoever, they'd make this announcement towards the end of the transfer window when they haven't signed anyone.
Yeah,
good
point,
news, though.
Yeah, good news.
Listen,
good news about the
you're not getting that right back you need, but
we will take your money for your phone.
Yeah. New signing. It's a mobile network.
It's very it's very kind of late 90s. Sort of mid-90s maybe, like ringtones, wallpapers.
It is a bit.
Crazy frog kind of stuff.
So as far as I understand,
no one likes us. We don't care. MIDI files. Lovely.
So say for example, Tesco Mobile. They've just rebadged it, you fool, right? They're using that. They've not developed their own tech. They're just rebadging, say, 3 or an O2 or something.
Yeah, I don't think they have their own satellites with the logo on it.
No, that'd be good though.
It would.
But they've got a big enough customer base and a big enough marketing budget and stuff to say this could work for us because people like shopping in Tesco. They come in Tesco all the time. We can almost do it as a bit of a loss leader or whatever, and it makes sense. For Millwall, are they basically just targeting Millwall fans?
I think so.
So it's another way of getting money because
it's smart, I think, and I think we're going to see more of it.
Yeah, but you say it's smart in terms of a principle of an idea. But I went on at some Millwall fans forums, and a lot of them are saying this is nonsense because basically you're essentially saying I can pay you more than I already pay my mobile phone provider to just have a Millwall mobile network.
Sure. Yeah.
So it kind of feels a bit transparently rapacious.
Well, if the deal isn't good, that's not great, is it?
Does it come up on your screen as Millwall rather than?
I guess it probably
3
would, right? I guess it probably
You'd
would.
hope so. What are you paying for otherwise?
What are you paying for though?
No. Well, you are supporting the club. You're supporting the boys. And you're supporting the transfer kit in the season, isn't you?
But it makes sense. AC Milan already do it. Flamengo already do it. It is essentially just like, your phone bill goes to the club.
Would you go to Arsenal Mobile?
I would worry that Piers Morgan would be listening to my calls. Yeah. To be honest,
would be a lot of John Lewis adverts on it, wouldn't
there? Would you be content to switch over to Arsenal Mobile? See you and producer Rory at the Emirates every week for Arsenal not to sign a new striker. so you could phone them up and complain they haven't got a striker.
What aren't you doing right
with
now?
99.9% UK coverage,
free access to the club call.
That'd be good.
Yeah, that would be good.
Were you a club call guy back in the day?
Massively. Newcastle were buying players. Sense. Newcastle were buying Robbie Baggio every summer, weren't they?
And were your parents pissed off with the phone bill?
Yeah. It was between that and the Sierra/LucasArts video game tip hotline.
Video game tip hotline.
How do I get past this level in Leisure Suit Larry? I want to see some boobies.
Wow. I worked in the video game retailer for a bit, and people would call the shop asking things like that.
Really? Yeah. How do I get past this level? That's wild.
It really is.
Brilliant.
Well,
I think we're going to see more of this though.
It's so late stage though, isn't it? It's like Millwall doing an NFT or something, isn't it?
But you know what's
they probably have done that.
They probably will have done that.
You know, like rage rooms are really popular now, which is not a sign of a healthy society.
You can take your own stuff, can't you?
You can take your own stuff. Yeah,
I brought a busload of kids. Surely, don't hit the kids.
Every single club can open one of them.
I'll take a Rory Jennings in there.
Yeah, just like a big kind of a box park, but full of like smashables at the end of a match. Lovely.
You could do that. You could put a load of YouTube creators in there at half time in the Baller League.
Right, yeah. And just run out of cricket bats.
You claw hammer. Go in there with a claw hammer.
Take it out on big flunks.
I don't know why I'm slagging off actual ones, because we could just make ones up, can't we? No one would know. Big flunks.
Big flunks. Well, another club...
Bicep boy. Give me a fucking claw hammer.
Bicep boy?
Yeah, I just thought one off the top of my head. It's easy to do it.
Yeah. Well, skincare. Skin is the first name, care is the second name.
Yeah.
Skincare.
Yeah.
Another club trying to be resourceful is Carlisle United. Did you see this? The team bus was being used as a rail replacement bus at Manchester Victoria Station. It has been seen around in the UK. Yeah. It does get used in the weirdest places.
It seems
sometimes it'll be rail replacement, sometimes it'll be dropping people off to like a horse racing event.
Spotted outside pubs fairly regularly as well.
It's absolutely wild, isn't it?
If your club decides to Carlisle United and you need a bus to go places and stuff, presumably what we're saying is that Football League clubs of a certain level, finances are so parlous that they can't afford just to have it sitting in the garage.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually.
They have to get it out there. They have to hire it out. I think it's sensible.
Some of the replies sort of said that a lot of the club branded buses all come from the same yard. They all live together. All of the different club buses, they all live together. They all live together.
The tank engine.
And the driver and the driver has to get himself to wherever the depot is and drive the buses to wherever it needs to be in the UK.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Why can't you just have a little flap in your stadium where the bus lives? A big flap.
Where it lives.
Where it lives.
It's like Chuggington.
Yes. No one's heard of Chuggington. Use Thomas the Tank Engine as an example.
Chuggington's the modern equivalent. My son loves it.
I've never seen him.
Chuggington.
I'm going to have a look.
Chugga, 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 Chuggington.
Oh, he's kind of quite modern. He's like a bullet train.
Well, is that Coco you're looking at there?
He's a green fella, isn't he? He's got a big pointy nose.
Coco, Wilson and Brewster.
Brewster.
The three main ones.
How
He looks
charming.
slightly perturbed.
Yeah.
One of them is trained to become a fire train, to put out fires and stuff.
On a fire train.
Yeah, everyone's a train. It's fucking Chuggington. Where's your imagination, man?
God.